Trump attacking James Comey in his new book, calling the ex-FBI director a, quote, proven leaker and liar and untruthful slimeball, and saying it was his, quote, great honor to fire James Comey. The Republican National Committee is also waging an anti-Comey campaign, branding him as an opportunistic individual, someone that Democrats railed against, which is true. Joining me now is the chair of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel. Thank you so much for joining us, Ronna. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me, Jake.
So, some breaking news. Minutes ago, you accepted the resignation of Elliott Broidy, the deputy finance chair of the RNC, after the Wall Street Journal broke the news that a different deputy finance director of the RNC, Michael Cohen, also President Trump's personal lawyer, negotiated a $1.6 million payout to a Playboy model that Broidy impregnated while married. Cohen, we learned from the Justice Department this afternoon, is also under criminal investigation. This on top of the fact that your former finance chair, Steve Wynn, is being accused this year of sexual harassment and assault. And I guess my first question for you is, what the heck is going on at the RNC?
Well, obviously, these developments are new to me. I had not heard of any of this. Elliott and I spoke earlier today. He tendered his resignation. He doesn't want to be a distraction to helping us elect Republicans and keeping the president's agenda moving forward. And at the RNC, we've raised double the money of the DNC. We have the best ground game we've ever put in place. We are prepared for these midterms, and that's what I'm laser focused on, is keeping these majorities so we can continue to work on behalf of the American people.
Is Michael Cohen still a deputy chair of the Finance Committee there, given the fact that he's under criminal investigation?
Yeah, I'm going to take a look. I haven't had a chance to do my due diligence as this news has been breaking. I've been hearing it mostly from the news. I want to have a chance to look at it, talk to Michael. Obviously, he hasn't been charged with anything. Due process is a cornerstone of our judicial system. But give me that time to look at the charges or the investigation and have a chance to talk to Michael.
So you're here today to talk about the website going after James Comey, questioning his ethics and integrity. And I have to just ask, can you understand somebody watching right now might look at anyone from the RNC today, given Broidy and Cohen and Wynn, and say, on what grounds can the RNC question anyone else's integrity?
Well, the Republican Party, the elected leaders of the Republican Party, is the party that passed a massive tax cut that's helped the middle class in this country, that has increased wages across this country. 2/3 of Americans have bigger paychecks, 3 million jobs. ISIS is on the run. That's why you talk about the Republican Party. What is the policy that we're putting in place for the American people? When I go to grocery stores and when I talk to people about this party in this country, they're worried about what are Republicans putting in place that's going to make my life better. And so far, our record is pretty darn good.
So that's the Republican Party. That's the President Trump, and that's Republicans on the House and Senate. But I'm specifically asking about the committee that you chair, the RNC, that has a website up now called lioncomey.com, attacking a former director of the FBI, assailing his character. And, you know, you just accepted the resignation of a deputy finance chair because a different deputy finance chair negotiated a deal with a woman, a Playboy model, not his wife, that he had impregnated. You got the Steve Wynn situation. And my question is, the RNC is questioning the integrity of James Comey. Whatever issues there are with James Comey, what is the deal with Broidy and Cohen and Wynn? And how does that give you any moral ground to question anyone's integrity?
Well, James Comey discredited himself, and this isn't the RNC making up things about James Comey. James Comey has done that all on his own with his testimony before Congress, where he said he didn't leak, and then he did reveal that he gave his memos to a friend to give to a reporter, with the way he handled the Clinton investigation, now revealing in his book that he used polls to determine his decision to reveal to the public that he was reopening the Clinton investigation. Our job at the RNC is to make sure that we're highlighting for the American people this person that's going to get news coverage, air-to-air, 24-hour news coverage, that we need to present the real James Comey, and that they have an idea of the person who's presenting one version of events.
So the website is called lioncomey.com, and obviously it suggests that the RNC cares a great deal about the truth. I know you did it in conjunction with the White House. They also seem to be very concerned about the truth when it comes to what comes out of James Comey's mouth. The Washington Post reported that President Trump has made more than 2,400 false or misleading claims since inauguration. Now, I know you're head of the RNC. You're not inclined to criticize the president, but this is a man who has said, falsely, Thousands of Muslims were on TV cheering in New Jersey on 9/11, that Ted Cruz's father was involved in the Kennedy assassination, that President Obama was not born in this country, that 3 to 5 million people voted illegally in the 2016 election, that he had the largest inauguration crowd ever, and that vaccines cause autism. That's just a small little sampling. They're all patently false claims. So why the double standard? Why do you care about James Comey telling the truth but not President Trump?
Well, the media has an obsession with covering President Trump, and they have
covered the president. Yes,
but they have covered him nonstop in probably the most negative way that we've seen for any president. But we know that they're going to bring James Comey on, and we don't think he's going to get the proper vetting. That's something that we want to make sure that the facts get out. If you go to our website, lioncomey.com, you're going to see that most of the criticism comes from Democrats. That many of the criticisms we put forward are not refuted by the media. In fact, the media is covered extensively on our website as well. That's something we feel like we have to push forward, because he's going to be out there on every news station over the next week as he's making his millions of dollars and selling his book. People need to know who they're dealing with and who they're hearing this from.
You're absolutely right that Democrats in 2016 were extremely critical of James Comey. It's 100% true. And I don't dispute that that there are a lot of hypocrites in the Democratic Party who are now embracing him, and in the media too. But take a listen to what then candidate Trump had to say about James Comey in 2016 when Comey reopened the FBI investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails just days before voters went to the polls.
And I have to give the FBI credit. That was so bad what happened originally, and it took guts for Director Comey to make the move that he made in light of the kind of opposition he had, where they're trying to protect her. It took a lot of guts.
So it seems to me that when Comey's actions helped Donald Trump and the Republican Party, Comey received praise from Donald Trump and the Republican Party and criticism from the Democrats. And when the opposite happened, the opposite happened. Isn't that hypocritical, not just to the Democrats, but Republicans too?
You know, the president gave James Comey an opportunity. He met with him. And this is something that's true to the president. He had people who were critical of him that he's brought into the administration. He had 3 meetings. That's it with James Comey, 3 in-person meetings. He spent time with him. He'd heard of his reputation. And as he got to know James Comey and as he worked with him, he concluded that this was not somebody fit for office, and he fired him. I mean, obviously, the president came to a different conclusion once he worked with James Comey. I think this book is salacious. I think when you read it, he discredits himself.
Have you read it?
The very fact, no, I haven't read it, but the excerpts I'm hearing,
okay.
The very fact that he's saying that he used polling to determine whether he went to the public and disclosed opening an investigation, something that is unprecedented in FBI history. I think that discredits him completely. It's partisan, that he made a determination that Hillary Clinton was going to win, so that he had to take it upon himself to take away any taint from her office as presidency. Some of the descriptions he used are salacious. I think it's worth pointing out that he has a credibility issue, and that's what we're trying to do at the RNC with our website.
All right. RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel, thank you so much for